Hey BZB TV fans, my name is Matt Richards and we would like to welcome back all of the industry professionals to this installment in our webinar series. So real quick, let's just go over who I am and then we'll get into the content of the webinar for today. Again, my name is Matt Richards with BZB Gear. I am the marketing lead and video production lead for BZB Gear. I graduated from Liberty University back in 2019 with a bachelor's degree of science in digital media video production. And shortly after that, I started working at a TV station where after a little bit of time there, I ended up moving on to become a part of the BZB Gear team back in 2020. So that's enough about me, but let's go ahead and actually get into this webinar. So today we are going over education solutions by BZB Gear. There's a lot of different solutions out there, but we believe that a lot of our products are actually really well suited to the education sector. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So it's a lot of different factors to consider when it comes to education. One of the biggest ones is going to be budget. I don't have it here on the screen, but budget is going to drive a whole lot of things. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of your money when you're investing in the education sphere. But first of all, let's talk about the size of the room and the purpose of what you're doing. So in a small room, you might only have room for one camera. The more people you have, obviously, the more cameras that you might introduce as well. Specifically, the more people you have up doing presentations and stuff. Secondarily, what's the goal? So for example, if this is higher education like college and you're teaching a broadcasting class, you might actually want more equipment and more in-depth equipment than say if you are just teaching a history class in, I don't know, we'll say 6th grade and you're doing a recording lesson so that your kids can have it and take it home and watch it again. So goal is definitely going to be a driving factor there. And then finally, the complexity of the class. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but higher education, it's going to get more complex. And if there's a lot of technical stuff where it would behoove your students to actually have a recording, the more complex equipment is going to be a lot of a big benefit to you. So let's go ahead and start off here. We'll go ahead and talk about our cameras first. There's a couple different options. You can just go with the regular SDI, USB, or HDMI, but we also offer Dante AVH and NDI as well, if those are going to be your flavor. If you want to just have a single cable install and run off of the network, NDI and Dante AVH are something that you should consider. So let's actually get into our cameras. First of all, the BG Nucleus 10X. This is a Windows PC and a 10X PTZ all in one. What this is really going to be good for is if you need to fill the role of a computer and a camera at the same time. It's kind of a niche role, but it is there. You get a 1080p camera that's strapped to a computer. It's an Intel i5 CPU, a 16GB RAM, 512GB SSD. So really compact, just a good option if you need something that's fulfilling more than one role. And this starts at $2,999. Moving on though into our actual cameras, the first one that we're going to talk about is the BG Maestro. This is a 1080p wide angle auto tracking EPTZ. So what this means is this is basically our entry level auto tracking camera. When I say EPTZ, it means that it doesn't have an optical zoom, so the lenses don't move or anything. It'll just digitally crop in to zoom in. But it will allow you to track yourself up to a 3x digital zoom while you're moving around. So it could be good for limited use, anything where you can set up the camera pretty close and you're going to be moving around, writing on the whiteboard, stuff like that. That's where this is really going to come in handy, and this starts at $999. Moving on, we have the BG BPTZ. This is a very small 1080p PTZ camera. You're getting 1080p at 30 hertz. It's available in 3x or 10x optical zoom. It's a USB 2.0 camera, as well as having plenty of different control options there, but it's just a really good small compact camera for a huddle space or if you're really limited on space in your classroom. This starts at $599 and it will go up to $699 for the 10x option. Moving on though, we'll go ahead and talk about kind of the camera that we really see a lot of use in for the education space, and this is the BG VPTZ. It's available in an NDI model, so if you want to go the networked video route, you can absolutely do that with this, but it's 1080p up to 60 hertz. It's available in 10, 20, or 30x zoom, and this is optical zoom as well. It's all aluminum, very small form factor, so really durable, really small out of the way. And it allows you to have a lot of different mounting options. This is great if you are in the market for just a kind of a budget 1080p camera that you want to do most of the things that you need a camera to do. This starts at $11.99. So moving on forward, we're going to have our our larger cameras. You have the BG UPTZ. We're actually kind of getting rid of this camera in favor of our BG Adamo Junior. But this is 1080p, 60 hertz. It's 1220 or 30x optical zoom. You can also get it with a 10x digital zoom on top of that. So where this really shines is going to be something where you need to put it really far away and be able to kind of zoom up close. Or where we've seen it used is if you need to get in really, really close on a specific subject, like a subject's eye, something like that for a demonstration purpose, anything like that. You have audio embedding, main and substreams. It was our flagship 1080p camera, but again, the Adamo Junior is now taking that spot. This starts at $14.99. Moving on though, we have the BG Adamo Junior, the big boy replacement for that. So this one starts at $14.99, but there's good reason for that. Even though it is going up in price a little bit, not only are you getting much better lenses, better sensors, like everything is better on this camera. It's available in 1220 or 30x zoom, 1080p at 60 hertz. You get tally lights, so really useful in broadcasting spaces too, especially if it's going to be used as a kind of a broadcast classroom. But you get the ability to record internally with the micro SD card slot. It has simultaneous outputs for SDI, HDMI, USB 2.0, 3.0, or IP streaming if it's NDI or Dante. But you get tons of different control options, and this starts at $14.99. This is going to be the best option if you just want 1080p and you want the best quality out of it. This is going to be our flagship for 1080p. The next camera on the list, it's going to be a big step up in price. This is the BG Adamo 4K. So we've talked a lot about this camera. I don't want to brag on it too much because we have so much content on this camera, but there's a good reason for it. It's available in 12 and 25x zooms, but this is our flagship camera, and it has shown that it is worthy of being a flagship because it's won up to we're up to 8 awards now on this camera. So really, really big award-winning camera. We actually have it in use in some universities, specifically in some of the healthcare classrooms that they're doing. So whether that's nursing school, stuff like that, so that the way they can actually show up close demonstrations of the techniques that they're learning or things that they need to watch out for, stuff like that. It's really cool, actually. So this is available in NDI and Dante AVH as well. Same kind of benefits as the Junior. The only difference is you're getting up to 4K with this. And this starts at $26.99. Moving on though, cameras aren't everything. So these are going to be our joystick options. Now, granted, not all classrooms are going to need a joystick. In fact, most of them won't. But I went to school for broadcasting, and there were definitely a lot of joysticks in those classrooms. So, and I know that's also something that's being brought into high school as well. So we'll go ahead and look at these joysticks. Excuse me for the mess up there on the screen, but we'll start with the BG Commander Junior. This is everything good about our Commander, which used to be our flagship, but now we have the Commander Pro, and we just shrunk it. So it's a much smaller, much more affordable unit. It has a nice LED display for you to review settings. You get VSCA, UDP, Pelco, D, and P protocol. Tons of different control options with this. Lots of presets. It starts at $5.99. You get control for up to, is it 5 cameras? Yeah, 5 cameras. So really, really awesome little joystick. Does everything you need it to do and a little bit more. So moving on though, we talked a little bit about the Commander. So here's the Commander Pro. And this is kind of our most capable joystick controller right now. It's PoE capable with IP control, has a 7-inch touchscreen, which allows you to get improved control, and it also allows you to move around all the settings, select cameras, all of that through the touchscreen. Pretty much anything you want to do, whether that's balancing color, changing white balance, adjusting focus, all of that can be done through the touchscreen, as well as the dials and buttons on the unit. So lots of options for you. You can get up to 255 preset positions on this per camera, so that's a lot. A very, very big amount. Has variable speed adjustment, HDMI projection. You can even do 3x3 video wall support with it. So really cool. This starts at $19.99. And finally, we have the Commander. This is kind of our middle of the road. And like I said, we kind of dug this, shrunk it down to get the Junior. So this is what you're looking at if you want something that's a little bit more affordable, but does everything that you need. It has really, really robust construction. One of the big things about our Commander line is we wanted to make sure that it held up to pretty much all the abuse that you could throw at it. So it has a reinforced joystick. It's PoE capable. Pretty much everything that you got on the Pro, you're getting on this, except for a few different things. You're not getting the touchscreen. You're not getting some of the extra buttons, but you're still getting the ability to have 255 presets per camera. You're still getting variable speed adjustment. You get a lot of features with this, just minus a few things like the video wall support. So moving on, this is $8.99 to start with. And we'll go ahead and talk about capture devices. Not all rooms are going to need a capture device, but you might. So we figured we kind of highlight a few of them. These are not an extensive list of all the ones that we offer, but we have a ton. So we'll just go over a few. This is the BGCap HA. It's a USB 3.0 1080p capture device. It supports resolutions up to 4K and captures at up to 1080p at 60 Hertz. It has a HDMI loop out and stereo out, and it starts at only $99, so really, really affordable. Next, we have the BGCHA. This is a USB 3.1 1080p capture device with a scaler. It's also TAA compliant, so some of these schools out there, you might need to be TAA compliant. We have a lot of TAA compliant products. We actually have a webinar on it, and we also have a web page dedicated to it, so feel free to look at those if you need some more TAA compliant options. But this supports any resolution up to 1080p at 60 Hertz, and it'll capture pretty much any HDMI source, and it's also HDCP compliant. It starts at $249. Next item on our list is the BGC2HA. Pretty much the same thing. The difference is it's just a USB 3.0 1080p capture device. Same exact features. It'll allow you to support resolutions up to 4K at 60 to be captured at 1080p 60. So if you have a 4K source, it'll be captured. It'll only be 1080p though in the capture. This also has an HDMI loop out and is HDCP compliant. It's also $249. Finally, we have the BGCSA, and actually I think I said finally, but there's another one on this list. This is a USB 3.1 SDI 1080p capture device. So if you have SDI, we have options for you there. This one starts at $249. And we have the BG4KCH. This is a 4K HDMI video capture card with scaler. It's a really, really small unit, so really great for that. And it'll allow you to support capture up to 4K at 30 Hertz. It'll also scale lower resolution content up to 1080p at 60 Hertz. And it has a super low latency on it. It's TAA compliant, and it starts at $299, so pretty affordable. Those are just a few of our capture devices. We have more. Highly recommend you check out our catalog if you are interested in some other options. But this is already going to be a longer webinar, so I don't want to go over every single option. And finally, what are some other education solutions from BZBGEAR? We went over cameras, we went over capture devices, but there's more to it besides that and joysticks. So whether you need some audio solutions, video wall solutions, there's a lot of other things that we can provide, and we're going to go over just a few of them. But like I said, we have a very extensive catalog, so if you need something that you're not seeing on this list, please look it up on our website or feel free to contact us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible or answer your question live on the phone. So what's the first option that we're going to talk about here? The BG Connexio. So this is a wireless 4K BYOD conference solution. Essentially what this means is it is a 4K device that will allow you to connect wirelessly or with a USB dongle to it. Any computer that has Miracast, Chromecast, AirPlay, anything like that. And basically it's just to allow you to send whatever you need to present up on screen, all of that good stuff. It works for Windows or Mac. Essentially, really, really good option for a conference room, because I know in education, it's not just classrooms. There's a lot of meetings, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on for the faculty, staff, all of that. So that's kind of where this would fit in. That starts at $9.99. Moving on, we have the BG Cyclops 4KB. So again, for a conference room, or if you have meetings that you need to have in the district, for example, this is a 4K auto framing conference bar. So what that means is it is a 4K camera that will auto frame based on who's talking. It'll zoom in, crop a little bit, and give an optimal shot of who's talking. It also has built-in microphones to pick them up and speakers, so that way you can hear what the other people on the other line are saying as well. So this is kind of like you can pair it with the Connexio, you don't have to. So pretty much this is kind of like an all-in-one. If you just need a camera, speaker, and microphones for a small conference room, that's what this is geared for. This is $9.99 as well. Next option on the list is the BG SMB5M. We talked about cameras in classrooms, but we didn't really talk about a microphone solution. So this is a microphone solution. It is a USB Bluetooth wireless desktop conference speakerphone. So you can use it for conferences, but you can also use it to pick up your voice while you're doing presentations with the cameras, or pretty much take phone calls with it, answer. There's a lot of things that you can do with this. This is a really nice, versatile option for education because it fits so many different roles. It has 4 built-in microphones for a 360-degree audio pickup. It's suitable for meeting rooms up to 60 square meters. You can also extend this as well. You can add more microphones or speakers, so that's a pretty cool thing. And on top of that, it can be completely wireless. You don't have to have it plugged in. It has a rechargeable battery, so you can take it on the go with you as well. This starts at $349. And let's see what else we have on the list here, why don't we? We have the BG UHD MVS41A. So this is a 4x1 4K UHD HDMI switcher and multi-viewer. So pretty much if you need to have several sources that you need to switch between in your classroom, or for example in a control room for a broadcast classroom, that's where this would come in. It is supports input and output resolutions up to 4K at 60 Hertz, 444, HDMI 2.0, HDCP 2.2 compliant, seamless. It allows you to seamlessly switch between input channels or combining multiple images on a single monitor. So really, really nice unit here. And this starts at $699. Finally, we have the BG UHD VWP 1x4, and this is a 4K video wall processor with 1x4, 1x3, 2.2, and 4x1 layout. Again, where you might see this mostly used in education is probably going to be in broadcast classrooms, but that kind of fills a similar role in a control room. It allows you to have a lot of flexibility with this unit. It supports up to 4K at 60 Hertz, 444. You have plenty of control options, whether it's the front panel, IR, USB, remote, tons and tons of different options there. HDMI 2.0 as well, DisplayPort 1.2. It's HDCP supported, and you can also independently rotate some of the resolutions, or not resolutions, some of the inputs. And you can also, one of the really cool things is save different parameters and layouts on the flash memory that's on it for easy recall. This starts at $14.99, and I believe, no, actually I lied. We have a few more products. And finally, we're going to be talking about the BG IPGear Pro lineup. I'm going to rope in the next 3 products all as one, essentially, mainly because they all work in tandem with each other, and it's kind of hard to separate them all from each other. But first off, we have the IPGear Pro R, then you have the IPGear Pro T and the Pro C. So we'll go over each individually here, but let's give you a quick roundup of what the IPGear lineup is. It's essentially AV over IP. It's TAA compliant. It supports 4K at 60 Hertz. But one of the biggest things is it has video wall and KVM support. So where that comes in handy, in education in a lot of different ways, but one of the biggest ways is if you need to set up a computer lab, or if you need to make sure that you can monitor what students or faculty are doing. You can do all of that through this. It's secure, has plenty of security options. You can have real-time monitoring with it. But this is the R, and what that means is it's the receiver unit. This one starts at $9.99. You have tons of different connection options, bidirectional IR control as well. and it's super low latency. It has a 33 millisecond latency maximum. So that's the largest latency that you're going to see. Next, we have the T, and what this is a transmitter unit, so you need a transmitter and a receiver. It doesn't work if you have two receivers because then you're not transmitting a signal. Same things, this one just happens to be the end that you plug in to send the signal instead of receive it. And then finally, we have the Pro C. So what this is, it is the control system. It's the smart control system for the IPGear Pro system. Again, all of these are TAA compliant, but what this gives you is real-time monitoring and management of all the devices that are connected. You get the ability to control up to, or not control, but manage up to 1,024 devices at one time. Super easy drag and drop menu. And it also has a mobile app, so that's awesome. But you can schedule times for different videos to play. You have self-monitoring with auto reboot to ensure that the system is online. And you also can do customizable graphic overlays as well. And this unit, the controller itself, is going to be a lot cheaper. It starts at $549. So you really only need one controller. You can have multiple, but again, this thing will allow you to control up to 1,024 of the receivers and transmitters. So pretty awesome. That will actually do it for all of the products that we have for today for education. Again, we have tons and tons more in our catalog. It's just this would be a very, very long presentation if I included every single one. So again, my name was Matt Richards. You can see my contact information there. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And if I can't get you an answer, I'll set you up with people that can, like these three gentlemen here. You have Chris, Ilbron, and Matthew. These are also great resources to reach out to if you have specific questions about how to set up a system, what kind of system you might need. These are going to be your biggest contact points right here. These guys deal with a lot of those questions, and they also help people get set up with their own systems. And then finally, I would like to shout out our other options of contact. More specifically, one of the best ways to do it is going to be our social media, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource. We have an awesome social media manager who will get to you on that. And also, you can email us at info@bzbgear.com or support@bzbgear.com. Excuse me. Our support team is awesome. If you have more technical questions or if you need help with getting one of the products that you bought from us off the ground, that's going to be your best bet, is support@bzbgear.com. They are open and available 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, just our normal business hours. But on top of that, if you get in contact with them ahead of time and you schedule, you can actually have limited appointment availability on the weekends, and they will do their best to get that sorted out for you. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next webinar.